Hi everybody, welcome to this new tutorial. Today we're going to create a high jewelry ring and we're going to create a very cute scene in the clouds. So let's get started. So as almost always, let's add a circle as a reference for the ring size. Align to the view, 16.6 divided by 2. This is ring size number 5. Let's put a nice resolution here. Okay, let's start saving the scene. Let's make a new folder. This is in the clouds. Okay, so I'm going to start creating some busy curve. The ring is going to be made out of white gold and diamonds and pearls. Small diamonds, small pearls. It's an organic concept that I've been wanting to design to make for quite a while. Okay, so we don't need to be too precise now because we need to draw the section first. So let's do it here. Okay, so let's add a busy circle to the view. It's a busy circle. Add busy circle to the view, and let's make it obviously a lot smaller. First, let's center this, and this is going to be 1. Okay, now edit mode. SX SZ, doesn't want that. Okay, so GZ. Okay, now let's do a W subdivide. SX SX. Let's go to vector for everybody for a second. SX SZ, no, sorry, GZ GZ. Okay, now A V automatic. Okay, this is pretty good. GZ. Okay, AS, I want it a bit smaller. Okay, now we want this at 2 per 2.15. Okay, so let's go at 2515. Control A, all transforms, set origin to geometry. This is good. Now this is going to bevel that object. This. Okay, obviously orientation is not correct. Let's go 90 minus 90. Okay, Control A, rotation. That's great. Now fill the caps. For today we're going to fill the caps. Now with this we're going to be more precise. Now we need to adjust exactly to the finger size. So it's always moving, so it's G key. And now it's when we must be a lot more precise. Okay. So here it's touching very slightly, but so over the finger, obviously. This is pretty good. Now I want some pretty curve here, so I don't know if, okay, this should be, this goes too far, and this doesn't go far enough, I guess. But also what I want is some twists, so let's tilt this. Let's go to 180. Maybe more. And also I want the radius to come down. Okay, so here radius is going to be at 75 and here it's going to be at 0.5. Is it? Yes, it is. But still this goes too far here. It should be shorter. Okay, because I want more curve here, and also I don't want it to be exactly on the same axis there nor here. It could even, yes. Now it's starting to be more like it. Obviously we'll work on the endings later. Now this must be balanced. Oh, this is far away now. Alright. And I want this to tilt also a bit. Oh, this is very nice. Let's go 90 degrees. Here we are. Okay, so this is just the beginning. And you know what? We need to bring this a bit more like that here. Okay. So obviously every time you move something, you need to adjust the rest, which is the demanding side of this technique. Now this is too. Okay, this is too big. I'm sorry, 0.85, it's on the radius. Now let's come back on the finger. So that's why always put your finger reference at the beginning to avoid doing let's focus on the ring. Okay, so this is how it all begins. So we want this. Okay, I don't want it to touch. That's part of the concept of the ring. Okay, but I also want several ranges. Okay, so now we're going to continue doing the same, almost the same, for other rows. So let's make a Shift D, edit mode, and we're going to move everybody, and we're going to create variations of this. I wanted to go inside the other part somewhere. Okay, so now this one I want it smaller, 0.75, and let's make this one a bit bigger, 0.75. Okay, and obviously I want to change the curves and the distances. I don't want it to be the same. Side view, and this design is the scene I'm going to create is inspired by something that I believe since I was a kid, is that the world needs more tenderness, and that tenderness is always undervalued, laughed at, especially when it comes from a man, or people think that tenderness, I don't know, is gay, or and that if that would be a bad thing. But and also because then people say, oh, you're gay, that's why you're, but well, guess what, I'm not gay. So that's not the subject here, so we won't discuss that. But just look around you and you won't find that many men talking about tenderness and saying that it's a manly thing. And I always found that to be a problem, because in fact tenderness is one of the strongest male values, because who's okay, because who's getting that tenderness? Well, women. So if a man has more tenderness, well, everybody will live happier. It's that simple. Okay, now okay, somewhere here. So for a second I'm going to hide this one and correct this side. Okay, this one 75, let's go 0.6, 0.7. It's pretty nice. Okay, so sometimes you'll have to hide the other part to adapt another part. This is why jewelry design is always very philosophical, and I guess that's why I always liked jewelry design so much. Because you can't be good at jewelry design if you're not studying somehow social. take 3. If you're not studying if you're not studying sociology as a natural part of jewelry design somehow. Okay, that went too far. Oh, that's nicer. Or even anthropology, I guess I would say. And that's why I always rejected the concept that jewelry is superficial, or that we're just talking about trivial and irrelevant things, because in fact jewelry is at the root of human identity. Prove me wrong, prove me wrong. And many people don't really think about that, because like I already said many times, for many people jewelry is just a business. It's a money-making machine. But guess what? That's their problem. Everyone is free to do whatever they want, or so they say. Okay, is that nice? It looks pretty nice. But obviously, let's bring this one back. Okay, we might want to go here, or are we going to? But this is pretty nice. This is pretty nice. Okay, we have a couple of different rows. I need a third row, so Shift D. Let's bring it to the other side, and let's bring everybody to the other side. All right, so this should go here. Should it go here? Now we need a third row. This side might be longer now, I guess. Side view. Are we? I might change the twists. This one might twist more. Let's go 360. That's pretty good. Let's go a bit further. Okay, now what do we have here? Okay, so this one's going to be lower. The other side, what's on the other side? Okay, maybe this. Okay, this right. Okay, we might do this. We might do this very well. We might just as well do this. Obviously, we need a different twist here. But this side might be smaller. Obviously, I'm not done with the rest. This is all a progressive process. Many people don't get that it's not, well, it never ends, like they say. Somehow it never ends. Okay, just bring this, what's the size there? 0.7, let's go 0.7 here too. How's your twist doing today here? This is pretty sweet. Okay, this side's getting pretty sweet, but are we maybe too high on this side? Okay, and this one, so wait. So then this one's going to be smaller, 0.5. Okay, that's nice. And also the twists. Okay, I need to change your twist here. It's at 180. Okay, and I need to change this twist also. So there's a lot I will have to change, but this is starting to be what I want. And we're going to, okay, so it's this side. Oh, that's nice. That's very nice, nice. But I don't want this to touch at that level. are we gonna go? Here, here and there. Back view for a second. Well, we'll have obviously to tweak these distances a bit later. Alright, so it's all about more tenderness in the world. And like I said, tenderness is always laughed at. Wait a second. Back view. Okay, this is too high. We need to be here. And also that showing tenderness coming from a man is always turned into something gay and to something weak. So, and that's part of the bullying process against tenderness. It's always mocked, laughed at, discarded. Okay, we probably this. And rejected. Tenderness gets a lot of rejection in the world because it's a sign of weakness. Let's say imagine a Viking warrior, a tender Viking warrior. Well, that would obviously be a gay thing. Like if a Viking warrior had never showed tenderness in his life or received tenderness in his life. Obviously he did, but showing that is something that society is not wanting to do. And that's why the world is not such a good place. Okay, we need this. Let's hide this and that. Okay, now let's make this circular because obviously the ring is, let's say, a bit chaotic in its path, just like me. But on the inside it's perfectly round, cyclic, structured as a ring, just like me. So that's why jewelry design is always a great deal about identity. The jeweler's, the designer identity, at least it should be. So if you're designing, and for you designing jewelry is not about identity, you really should go back to school. All right. So, all right. Okay, side view. Like I said, but this is very good. Maybe just this. Okay, but this is very good. The shape is really amazing. All right, this can open a bit more. And also it's not, well, it's not that I just woke up like in a good mood, like let's be tender because it's a nice morning and I had breakfast and whatever, and tenderness is important. For me, I'm talking about a subject that I've been encountering since I was a child. I did grow up in a lovely family, but also I grew up in a family that was never really much supportive when I was growing up, and I had to make my way much against my family, becoming an artist and all of that. And the nice part of that story is that I found tenderness around me in nature. And also, people think that tenderness is directly linked to sexuality. Another problem about tenderness, it's like saying I found tenderness in nature. No, this is not about going in nature and fucking sheeps. No, it's not. Sorry to disappoint you. When I say I found tenderness in nature, is that you can see the power of the creator in plants, in trees, in animals, and all of that. And again, you don't have to be gay to be sensible, to be sensitive, and to find tenderness important as one of the strongest force in the universe. And I did not necessarily said love, I said tenderness. It's a similar power, but maybe sometimes even tenderness is more like a concrete action toward your surrounding and other beings, also human beings, obviously. All right, but a lot of things I'm saying now is totally taboo in, well, almost every culture. And like I said, tenderness is rejected, disregarded, it's not valued. So many things like that. And that's why the world has so much problems with taking care of the planet, taking care of the environment, helping each other. Many things that could work a lot better if people would stop laughing at tenderness all the time, and if men would really start, well, actually we should even demand that tenderness is a very important element in relationships. And actually well, you can make the test, talk about tenderness to your girlfriend, to your wife, to, well, depending on the quality of your relation. But obviously, if the tenderness as a man you're expressing does not get reflected back to you by your special ones, love people, and all of that, then there's a lot of work that needs to be done in the quality of your relations. And sometimes it is very disappointing, frustrating. What else? Demanding, obviously. Okay, that's a bit better. All right, so let's have a look again at this shape. Front view, keep it in the circle, sorry. So you go here, front view, thank you. And also tenderness. Try some tenderness in your workplace. All right, try that, just try that. Try tenderness in public transportation, you know. Well, and again, what that exactly means, well, it's might be hard to explain, but you should get the feeling of what I'm saying. So no, it's not about grabbing a woman's ass in public transportation or things like that. And that's why, again, tenderness is very much left at, because it's very easy to discard tenderness as something totally out of place. So what I mean is that tenderness is any kind of gesture to help to understand someone else, to have that empathy that everybody in the world is struggling with the world. And that if people had more understanding and more tenderness, because tenderness is understanding your surroundings, the world would be a better place. And what takes the frustration away, what really cures you, is to understand that many times you won't be, you won't get that tenderness directly coming back to you, and that's the way it goes, because tenderness, well, this is like generosity and all of that, helping, understanding. You should never do that waiting for anything to come back. And that's why it's a gift. It's really giving. You give back, because also never forget that somewhere in the process you already received tenderness. And also, one of the big problems of tenderness is that it's generally very hidden. And that actually, I think, it's what saves tenderness. It's hidden. And it should really stay hidden, because that saves tenderness, but that's also what loses tenderness. So, and also, really, I enjoy talking about tenderness, because when you talk about tenderness, it's really easy to see who is who around you, right? Because people who lack tenderness, when you talk about tenderness, they go directly to the joke side, to the misinterpreting side, to the defensive side, and again, rejecting tenderness, not wanting to show tenderness, not wanting to even understand what tenderness is, or not showing that they have and they need tenderness and all of that. And obviously showing a lot of frustration and reject. So like I said, like I already said, try some tenderness in your workplace, and we'll see if you don't get fired. Because many people see tenderness as something totally unprofessional. And it's funny because here I am making my everyday work and talking about tenderness. That's why I always worked as an independent, because I always wanted to be able to talk about tenderness in my workplace. And believe me, it doesn't go well in the professional world, you know. Showing some understanding and tenderness to your surrounding is very quickly very badly misunderstood, and like I said, a lot of rejection. And that's why many workplaces are just the way they are, and they will never change. So when you want to make a new, different world, well, you just have to understand that basic things, because tenderness is really basic for life to exist. The universe is full of tenderness because it allowed us to live, and this is already one of the biggest proof of tenderness. And well, just think about that. So yeah, tenderness is very basic, and this is just jewelry design. All right, so I think the main shape is what I wanted. Obviously we're not totally done. I need some taper curves, or just even one taper curve, because I want the endings, okay, let's to be, I want the endings to be smooth, to be tender, obviously. All right, so it's going to be something like that. Well, let's see if it's going to work without changing. So taper curve, taper object, this is the taper curve. Okay, obviously it's not working. Let's bring it to that. So let's turn it off for a second. Okay, so now the size is not changing too much there, but we're going to need, let's do a subdivide, and let's go down with this. I want the tips to go like this. That's a bit more aggressive, but we're going to deal with that. Well, that's just a test, but then nope, I won't do that like this. I'm going to round them in mesh mode. So anyway, let's call that branch. Is that a branch? Branch 1. Branch 2. Branch 3. All right. Now the branches, let's copy them, Shift D, Enter, Alt C. And now we're going to create a new collection. It's going to be the ring and clouds ring. So you guys are going to come here, and this is now a mesh. So we're going to go, all right, let's work it out like this. Transparency Alt A. Let's take these guys, let's extrude that. Extrusion, smaller extrusion, smaller extrusion, smaller, and this is pretty good. So here, let's always do some merge by distance. Yep. And normals to the outside, and we're good with this. See, this is smooth now on that side. Obviously, we need to do that with all the endings. And Alt A, select this side. Don't forget to deselect any other thing. Extrusion. Smaller extrusion, smaller extrusion, smaller. This is great. And the same again, A, merge by distance, we're good, and normals to the outside. It's necessary when you do that process. Okay, it's smooth and pretty good. We need to do that too. The 6 endings is not such a problem. Alt A. The point on the keyboard to zoom in, extrusion, smaller extrusion, smaller extrusion, smaller. Maybe move it like that. A, merge by distance, normals to the outside. Alt A. Now let's go to the other side. Here, Alt A. Here, oops. Here we are. Extrusion, smaller extrusion, smaller extrusion, smaller. Here we are. And sorry again. A, merge by distance, normals to the outside, and here we are. And this one's missing, so do that with transparency turned on. Let's go here, extrusion, smaller extrusion, smaller extrusion, smaller, oops, I'm sorry, smaller, a lot smaller, move it, extrusion, smaller, and maybe move it a bit lower. This is great. Select everything, A, by distance, merge, mesh, normals, outside, Alt A. We go to the other side, Alt A, C, extrusion, smaller, not that small, extrusion, smaller, extrusion, smaller, and let's go here, A, mesh, merge by distance, and normals to the outside. Okay. Now this is a mesh, and this is pretty great. This is pretty nice. All right, so now we're going to append a diamond from where are we going to append a diamond from? So we need, what video? This guy might have, okay, this file must have some diamonds, but this one is maybe too old. Let me use okay, no, well, it's pretty good. Okay, so let's bring a diamond object somewhere here. This is great. Let's see if it has a material. Okay, okay, should be pretty good. All right, so obviously let's make it smaller. I want some diamonds on the sides, so we are going to need some. Oh, this is pretty good. Okay, we're going to try to turn on the just call it diamond. Okay, turn on the snap here to face. I think we're going to use the center, and we're going to affect move, rotate, and scale. Project individually align to rotation and project individual elements. Turn the snap on, and we should be good. So let's make a Shift D. Okay, and we love this. I love doing this in Blender. Okay, I'm going to bring it on the flat side. I'm just always going to check that the okay, and I'm going to, this is a free organic design, so my stone setting is going to be done in a professional manner with prongs, with cuts and all that we need, but I won't necessarily put it in a straight organization. And now also I want to see, yeah, we can fit. This is what I want. I want stones here and there, because you know that diamonds bring a lot of sparks to the jewels. That's why we use them so much. So always check that it's not. All right, this is pretty good. Let's see if I can rotate. No, I would need to remove that. Some I want. You might rotate the stones however you may need, like this. Okay, you can check that the tips are not interfering. This is pretty good. This is even better than I thought. Okay, so we have some stones there. Obviously the prongs are going to come to the sides, because you know these stones are like coming out of the jewel. It's not good. Shift D. All right, Shift D. I was thinking about changing the sizes of the stones, but here I don't need to, so I won't. All right, right here. This is all of that. This is great. Okay, and let's put some here on the inside. And remember that I also want some pearls. Some pearls for my rings. Small pearls. Maybe hanging pearls. Maybe we'll see about that. We'll see what works. Okay, we have that. It's pretty nice. Okay, here there's like a corner. This comes from the changing the radius of the curve. It's not always very smooth. So I'm going to try sculpting first. Let's try sculpting, and let's. Okay, are you all right there? Ah, no, but wait a second. Who talked about these branches? I'm talking about this mesh. Sculpting, please. All right, so you can see that here we need a bit of plus and then a bit of smooth right there. Very, very slight. On the back also you can see that here we need, so I'm just adding, and I'm not using the dynamic topology at all. I'm just adding and removing to smooth that out. Obviously you need to train a bit to do it in a very clean way, just like this, but this is one of my favorite way to do this, because you can smooth out these kind of problems. And that's how it goes. So on the other side, so now it worked. Here you can see that you need to add a bit of, well, not too much. Obviously it's a bit scary at the beginning, but don't worry, you'll be fine if you train. You don't forget to change the angle, but it's important to smooth that, to smooth this and that here and there, right, to get rid of these corners, because sometimes the beveling curve in Blender makes some type of corners here and there, especially when you change, well, when you change the radius instead of using a tapper object. It's a price to pay for speed and commodity. And this preserves the topology, just moves the vertices. Obviously it affects the topology, but not in such a bad way. All right, so let's keep with the stones. So I was working on that side. Oh, okay, that's pretty nice, pretty nice, pretty nice. Okay, so let's bring some here. Okay, now this one is too big. And all right, I'm putting some space between stones. The edges can touch sometimes. Okay, so that's a bit too far out. Okay, and let's put 5, just because 5 is a magical number. Like all numbers are magical numbers, but not that. Okay, so this sculpting. Too bad that, okay, it's here. This is almost nothing to smooth, but if you can see it, then it needs smoothing. All right, shift D here, yes. So here we have 4, let's go to 5 again. Okay, this is pretty good. I might change the size of some of the stones. Okay, but this is good. This is really great, because also it's all about making new designs, new concepts, new artistic way of working workflow, new workflows, new artistic workflows. You know, it's important to change the way we do things and we do designs and all that. Phew, let's make this one bigger. Okay, so here, obviously sometimes I see this perfect here and there, but here, see, you can see it. You can see the division there. All right, and we don't want that division. We want that to be smooth. So it's a very annoying disperfect right there, honestly, but we need to take care of it. This disperfect needs tenderness. Needs to be taken care of, so it all blends in tenderness. Okay, here you can see the division also. So obviously it's not easy. Don't do it too strong here, because you must be very gentle. Very gentle. And also I make it on purpose. If you follow the entire video, then you'll suddenly won't know if I'm talking about jewelry design or about tenderness, and you'll see that it's just one same thing, and that's on purpose, because it's in a way to hide meaning in what we do. And to protect the real meaning and the real knowledge. Because, like always, delicate meaning must be protected somehow. So you might do this process with a tablet. It's even better than using the mouse. I'm doing it like this just because it's not much, and it works better than using a modifier to try to smooth this, because the other modifiers, they affect the entire design. And I'm showing this process just so that you understand that sometimes we need to take care of details like this. That's all. I'm not saying that I'm doing it well. I'm just doing it. And you're not. And you should be taking care of these details. Obviously sometimes it comes out worse, but if you go far away, the smooth okay. So now obviously don't overdo it. All right, this is good for now. Is it good for now? Yes. Okay, we still need stones on the other side here. So where are we going to put the stones? Here, smaller. Let's go and have a look here. This is nice. And always take your time to do what you love doing. People who say that we should, every time you can go faster, you should go faster. They should really think better about what they're saying. But I don't blame them. It's a very mainstream way of thinking, and that's why I don't care about them too much, because I don't really enjoy mainstream way of thinking. And also I talk a lot about thinking and all of that, but in fact most of the time we should just quit thinking and just doing what we really want to do. Okay, here stones. This is pretty cute, and we're gonna bring some here and there. You need to be generous when you're a jewelry designer. That's why we're here with my channel, because it's all about being generous and showing how we can do professional jewelry design with Blender and have fun with all of this. You know what? I need some stones, whatever. Shift D, please. Shift D. Then we'll bring in the prongs, obviously. And here and there. Here we go. That's nice. And let's have a look. Okay, I need some stones here. Even if it's just 3 stones, I could fit way more. But don't forget that we need prongs and we need to make the cuts. Okay, this is one side. The other side, maybe we're gonna put some here. Is it fitting? Whew. This one is barely fitting, but it's fitting. Let's see tip to tip. Oh, this is even better. Okay, so this is from this side, the left side, left side story. Okay, we get this. Is it any good? I guess. Okay, this is pretty great. Front view. Are we getting enough stones there? No, in fact, no. I want more stones here. Are we? Yeah, we are. This is all because of the front view. Checking that we have stones enough here and there. All right. Is it fitting? It's very much fitting. Now, back view, control 1. Same here. We got maybe there, but okay, we might have some here. Let's bring some here. And don't forget, I want pearls. Small pearls here and there. How many stones we have here? Let's put 5. Alright, so this is pretty good. Now let's create a pearl, which is a sphere, as you might know. Okay, 4mm pearls. Let's make them shade smooth. Okay, and let's have a try at adding pearls here and there. So pearls, they generally just, okay, let's put it at the tip. They go with a hole in the middle, and there's just a twisted wire on the inside, and they get put in place with a special pearl cement. Okay, I don't really want the pearls. I don't. My concept is. Oh, okay, please turn off the snap tool. I always forget to turn it off. Okay, here and there. Okay, the concept is not necessarily the pearls at the tips, and always pearls of the same size. This one a bit smaller, 3.5, and always use realistic sizes. If you don't know anything about pearls and real sizes of pearls, well, you go and you study pearls, right? And you don't necessarily copy what I'm doing. It's not the concept. It's just inspiration, learning by showing the entire process. Okay, this one's going to be green. Okay, I just want pearls here and there, like raindrops, not teardrops. This is a happy rain. It does look a bit like an octopus now, but why not? We don't care. We're like I said, I'm the Bob Ross of jewelry. I'm the Bob Ross of the jewelry field, jewelry designing field. Some people told me that a couple of years back, and I was like, I approve what you're saying. It was not done on purpose at the beginning, but and here and then I forget totally about that. Okay, this one's going to be a bit smaller, 2.3. And yeah, I do forget about that, but then suddenly I remember during tutorials and videos and say like, I'm the Bob Ross of jewelry design here with Blender. It's like jewelry design for the masses, you know. And it makes me laugh a lot because in fact it goes against a lot of my opinions about true art, but whatsoever. Everybody knows Bob Ross, and because well, some people, it's not my idea. Some people told me that, and they like, why not? Let's be the Bob Ross of the jewelry design. Okay, so how many pearls we have? I don't know, 3, or we have 7 pearls. Are we going to leave that at 7? I don't know. Back view, I want a pearl right there. So that's why the pearls, they can hang like I'm putting them, because in real life they get a perforation, half perforation, and they get a metal twisted wire on the inside. Obviously the wire is soldered to the ring, and sometimes I do them in 3D, but today I don't know. I just want to do something else, so I'm not going to. Okay, so if one's there, we need one here. Let's go back to be a happy Bob Ross jewelry designer and just put things into place without explaining too much. That just pearls, they need friends. It's a happy pearl. Right here, it's another happy pearl. They're happy pearls. It's a happy bunch of pearls. Okay, we even might put one there. Oh, and this ring in real life would just be amazing, and that's why I'm designing it for real life, because as you already seen, I do print my designs, or I do manufacture my designs. Okay, how many happy pearls do we have here? Okay, we have 8. Do we have 8? 8. Then we need 9. Okay, so one is going to go at the top here, like this. And I think we're almost done with. We're done with the design. We're done with the designing process. This one might be a bit bigger. Let's go at 3. All right, right here. So now let's have a look at different angle. Okay, so this one might, yeah, maybe this one might be better here. I said no pearls. Well, maybe not pearls at the tips, and not necessarily a pearl at every tip, but why not now that we are here? I can like this one there, but come on, let's go to the tip. Okay, so if I'm going to put this one at the tip, we're going to add some diamonds because we need to balance the entire thing. Okay, so we are going to need a lot more diamonds. Well, only 3 diamonds. Let's see if they fit. I think they're going to fit. Shift D. This should fit. Oof. No, this one is not fitting there. So we're just going to move it in between, somewhere like there. So Shift D, at least 3 stones. Oh, these are fitting really well. That's pretty nice. Obviously we need all the prongs now. We need all the prongs. Okay, we need all the prongs. We need all the prongs. All right, so like I already said a million times, let's proceed to creating the prongs. Now we're going to add a new material. It's going to be white gold. Let's make it, okay, dimension minus possible 0.4 then. Let's go a closer view, Alt A, B, let's do a something like that. We don't even need that much, otherwise we're gonna have too much problems. Okay, we're gonna put it somewhere here, I guess. Smooth shading, turn the snap on, and let's give it a go. Shift D. Okay, they can be bigger. Let's put 0.6. Sorry. Ah, come on, 0.6. We need some tenderness right here. All right, now let's go prong. Okay, it's too low. Bad prong. Let's go at close to 7 then. This might be good. Let's try this one. Alright, this seems to be better. Never forget to check on the back side. Okay, it's a bit too high. It's a bit too high. I need to lower this a bit. Oh, don't forget to turn the snap off, please. Like I said, I always forget to turn. Almost always. Alright, let's start again. Shift D, snap is on. Yeah. Turn it back on and off. Okay. Is this any good? Let's do a couple. So they can have shared prongs as long as the prongs sustain each stone properly. Will be just fine. All right. So I think this design is coming out. Oh yeah, very well. Very well, that's how this design is coming out. So let's keep completing the design. We need the prongs. We're almost done. I mean, on the conceptual side, from what I've seen, I think that the ring is very well developed, balanced, artistically safe and sound. Okay, we'll check when. Okay, this might be a bit smaller, I think, for these stones. We'll have obviously to have a general look at the entire design a bit later. Now we're working on the technical side. Well, the stones need the prongs. Then we'll have to cut the places of the stones. We'll see a nice trick to do that. And this is looking great. So now this is a bit more like, it does look a bit like an octopus. It wasn't. That wasn't exactly the goal. So you'll be able to laugh with me. A good designer should always laugh at his own work. An artist should always have self-humor. If you want to have a sane, happy life, you should get some self-humor here and there. And well, use it as much as you can, because the more you laugh at yourself, well, the more you love yourself. And yet again, you know, love yourself, and people go, you love yourself. You know what I mean, and you know what I don't mean, so whatever. Is that any good? Like I said, never forget to check on the other side, because prongs can very easily go through. And you'll, when it happens to you, you'll remember me. For now, you can laugh at me. Okay, so these guys more like it's 7. 7 are they? Yeah, for biggest stones, like it's 7. I said dimension close to 7. 0.7. It's 0.7 millimeters. 7 decimals. Okay, so it's very tiny, 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 tiny. Okay, so this side is where I said that the prongs must hold the stones on the side. So I might have to make these prongs a bit longer, but I think it's okay. I think it's very much okay here. All right. So obviously the prongs are even helping in making the design accidentally look like an octopus. Which is why not? Why not? And I think I need another pearl up here. Okay, we could use let's use the snap. Now remove the snap. Okay, I want the pearl to be on the side, this, there. All right. A bit on the inside, it's always good. Something like this. So now how many pearls do we have? Gosh. No, but too bad, I won't be able to count them anymore. Who cares? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's good. Perfect. So we still need prongs. Okay, so just bring this a bit more here. We need prongs right here, but we need the come on. We need the snap back on. You see, I forgot again to turn it on. It's when the placement fails that I remember, oh, I need the snap. Ain't that cool? Okay, camera is that way. Hello to the camera. I always forget the camera. It's a bit too much on this side, I think, but it's alright because that's the only angle I can get. Otherwise, you would be seeing my entire living room right there, and that's not that's not the point. Okay, we need a lot more prongs, but the prong business is doing pretty fine now. All right, so here we go. This is way too big. Woohoo. Put right there. Then we don't have to make the cuts. Don't forget that, because it's not so easy to cut the placement. You know, we need booleans, we need to make cutters and all of that. And we have a lot of stones, and we need to find a trick to make the cuts clean and efficient. I obviously always have that in mind. I've been having that in mind for quite a while now. So we'll get there, but everything must be done in proper time, and you want to make the cuts rather at the end. Okay. This is nice. Okay, this is great. These guys are a bit small, honestly, but whatever. At point 0.4, yeah, we're still good enough. Like I always say, you should not do things smaller than 0.5. But nowadays with the printers, you can go at 0.3, honestly. It tends to be pretty okay. Okay, you are going to have problems with scales. Hey, what's going on there? I mean, with very tiny things, you will have problems when printing, when casting, when finishing the jewel. because tiny prongs like this, they tend to disappear somehow, and this is not always a good thing. It's better to have more metal when making. Okay, so let's make this guy a bit bigger. But obviously when manufacturing the jewel, there's always problems. I don't believe in people who say that their process is flawless and all of that. I don't believe in them at all. I call it bullshit. But don't tell anyone. I just don't believe in them. Life is imperfect. Processes are imperfect. And actually, I think that people really become masters and really good human beings when facing a lot of problems and troubles and solving them in a tender way, learning tenderness through trial, the importance of real strong values. I believe that's my people, that's my kind of people. Because people who just because obviously everything I'm saying about what we're doing here, jewelry design and all of that, and tenderness and all of that, is because obviously as every human I faced that. I was talking about tenderness at the workplace, like being kind, being gentle, being, and I'm like I already said, I'm not talking about being gay or being or touching women or things like that, because you know nowadays people tend to misunderstand or misinterpret things very quickly, and that's obviously not the concept at all. And just to show that why tenderness is always a problem or a taboo or things like that is, well, because it gets very easily misunderstood. So there's a lot of rejection about that. And I did not even say love, I talked about tenderness, which is a bit different. Okay, we need a bit bigger. These are a bit bigger. No, these are not the bigger ones. 48. Let's go with these here. And I'm talking about all of that because I faced that and I suffered because of that, and I went through that and I transcended that already many times. And I guess we all have to go through all that and face the problems. And when we come back from that, then we can talk about it, right? Okay, prongs are prongs. We're still missing there. But this is well, at least the design is interesting. That's something that nobody can take out of remove what, say, whatever. Nobody can negate that. I don't even remember how to say that in English, but whatever, I guess you might understand what I'm talking about. That the design is interesting, no matter what you might think or not. This is my octopus diamonds and pearl ring, which is not an octopus, it's more an organic. It has an under the sea plant kind of a vibe. That's pretty cool. We'll see about that when we have the materials and the setup of all the rest of the scene. All right, take number 3000. Okay, so let's have a look at all that. Okay, now we need we still need prongs right there. Then we'll make the cuts. So then we'll have to work a bit. This is too big, but I already the smallest ones. All right. Are we complete? Okay, let's hide this. Obviously I need to find where it was. Where are you, little prong? I did not even change the name of the spheres to prongs. Sometimes I do change the name. Or this is also a sphere and could be called a pearl, but doesn't matter much. Okay, actually all the pearls, I'm going to take them. That's what happens when you forget to set a material. Take all the pearls, make a Control J, make new materials and call it pearls. All right, now the diamonds. So the diamonds are called diamonds, so we won't have that many problems making. Okay, select. Okay, this guy has got to go. Select all your diamonds. With the new outliner, it's very easy with the Shift key right there. Boom. Now we're going to make a Shift D. Yes, indeed. They're all duplicated. Now we can make a Control J. And these are going to be called the cutters. So now let's go to edit mode A, and here we need to make, oh, this is all wrong. There's something went wrong there. You can see they moved. I don't know why exactly. Go back to this. Let's make a Shift D. Ah, okay, the snap is turned on. Shift D, enter. All right. See, having the snap still turn on destroy entirely the distribution of the diamonds, which is always a lot of fun. Obviously. Okay. These are going to be the cutters. Now. Okay, so these are all the cutters, but this is edit mode A. Now change this to the individual origins, something like that. Now let's make everybody just slightly bigger. Just check that nobody is overlapping with the neighbor. Okay, so everybody is a bit bigger now than the original stone. So these are going to be pretty nice cutters. Okay, so now we have that. Let's make it Control J. This can be called the body of the ring. Where are you, body of the ring? Here. Ring body of the ring. All right, this should be white gold, by the way. Okay, this is great. Now we're gonna take okay, so this is the body of the ring, and this gets a boolean subtract difference fast, and we can take the cutters. Okay, now the cutters, we're gonna hide the cutters, hide them, remove them from rendering, remove that. Okay, and we can take, okay, we can take all the diamonds now. Let's take all the diamonds. Oh, very nice. Control J, these are the diamonds, and we can hide the diamonds for a second and admire the perfect boolean we're getting. There's absolutely no problem here with this boolean, and this is perfect. From there, okay, the spheres, let's go take the spheres, which are the prongs. Now we can take all the prongs, which is all the mini spheres. Okay, these guys are the pearls. So now we don't, that's the original prong, and now we're going to select all the prongs here, and we can make a Control J, and we have prongs. As you can see, we have a very well organized collection right there. This is all the components of the ring, and we can even call that, these are the diamonds, and we have everybody there. These are what the original prong, we can leave it like that. So let's just hide the building blocks and all of that. Okay, this is great. This is great. This is high jewelry design at its best using Blender. So this is just once more a proof that you can design amazing jewelry using Blender. But anyway, we're not done. We're not done at all. We're going to make a very amazing render for this ring. It's going to be on a sphere. We're gonna have clouds there under that, then some spheres in the air, and we're gonna have a small raindrop of little sparks. It's going to be amazing. So stay tuned. Design is done. All right, so now we're going to make the render of all of that, but we need to create the scene. So I'm going to save as in the clouds, render scene. All right, let's save it like this. So like I said, the design is ready. So we need to start making some, well, everything. Some props for the scene, materials, lights, all of that, you know, camera position. So the camera actually is going to be somewhere like here. Control 0. Okay, obviously now let's start working on the camera. There's some point of view camera. Okay, clip and 25,000. Let's go far, far away. Now also, it's going to be a portrait orientation. So let's go 20, something like that. But it's a bit too high, honestly. So let's bring this higher. Now the camera sensor at 22, focal length 17. Now display at 150, and let's bring the camera, but you know what, we're on the wrong side. Let's just turn this around, so it's like 360 minus 145. I don't know, whatever, let's go on the other side here, and a lot closer. It's gotta be somewhere here, a lot closer, and somewhere here, but not where too close. Obviously I use the focal length and sensor of the portrait macro view, but this is not exactly what I want today. So we're going to bring back the sensor at 35, and this at also 35, but let's go a bit further away because I want a general view For the ring, something like this. We're getting closer to that. So obviously I don't say that the angle is done, so just start with some angle for your camera and some distance and all of that. Okay, now let's create a sphere. Okay, so that's the ring. Let's call this the set. Let's call the set. Let's add some new collection. It's going to be called props. So let's go to props. Let's add a sphere. So the ring is going to be on the sphere, or the sphere is going to be under the ring. Maybe a bit smaller, and it's going to be a complete sphere. Smooth. But you know what? Make a Shift S, cursor to selected, copy the dimensions, but erase the sphere without moving the cursor at mesh UV sphere. We need a lot more of segments. Let's go to 1. Okay, let's copy the dimension. Okay, here, because we really need a nice resolution for the sphere. Okay, the size of the sphere is whatever works, somewhere here. Okay, this is pretty great. So now this sphere 1 material. So the color of this, we'll have a look later. Now we're going to create a mesh sphere just like that. Also, this is going to be a very big one because it's for the environment, but set this to 0. All right, smooth. This is background sphere. Okay, this object visibility is going to be only for camera, no shadow, nothing whatsoever. Now we obviously need an HDR, so let's bring environment. Let's go for our favorite. Well, we'll try several. Here I have some of my favorite files. We'll try this. All right. Okay, now what I can see is that the camera is a bit too high. Let's bring it a bit lower here. Now let's have a look. Okay, I'm going to remove the original light there. I don't like that original point light. It makes a lot of problems, obviously. Okay, now this is starting to work. The diamonds already have a material. For the materials, I'm going to use from my own library. So today I won't be showing that much about the materials, honestly. Just for the white gold, maybe. But let's say for the pearls, and for the pearls, I'm going to paint from my own assets. It's one of the favorite assets. The colored gemstones, the ultimate collection here, and obviously I have a pearl material that I will have to tweak because you need to tweak the materials for every scene. Okay, so the pearls are going to get that material. Like I said, then we'll have to tweak them. So pearl material should be already good. And well, the gold, okay, these are pink pearls. I want white pearls, so we'll tweak that. Obviously, this is just the beginning, but I'm already liking quite a few things. And in fact, even for this, the sphere, let's try the sphere on that material. Oh, that's quite nice. So what I'm going to change is this. I'm going to copy this one. Okay, so white, but let's go to shading for a second. white pearls. Okay, so here I need to add an HSV here. Obviously put the preview, please, and put saturation at 0.1, value at point. Well, the value depends a lot on the light, so we'll have a look at the values later. 0.05 and maybe 0.8. Okay, it's going to be pretty nice. Now white gold. Okay, white gold. I generally set it to white. Technically it's not correct, but it's all right. Okay, this is fully polished. It's pretty nice. Let me have a look at the diamonds also here. Factor. We might. Okay, let's go to dispersion for a second. Brightness. Brightness 2. All right, perfect. What else we need? Okay, on the white gold we need okay, we need some scratches, so, and bevel. Okay, so white gold, bevel, normal, right there. Samples 24, radius 0.1, generally is pretty good. Now let's bring an image for some scratches. So we're gonna make a bump map. It goes right there. Vector bump. Don't forget that it goes on the height, because I'm just using an image which is not a normal map, and that works for what we need. You don't need to make more, a lot more than that. Okay, let's go for some scratches. Or some rain. Okay, this might be pretty good. Obviously it's way too strong, but this helps see what we get. So I always tend to exaggerate things at the beginning. It's generally necessary. Okay, let's go at 0.01. So we just have very slight scratches here and there, maybe 0.3, 0.03. Let's have a closer look. Okay, that's pretty nice. We have some lovely little. Okay, this is pretty nice. This is really nice. Okay, we have this. Now. Okay, this is the background sphere. I think I want it pink, lighter, and we're going to set it. I want to see if the emission might create a nice look, but I might, let's try a gradient. In Blender we generally love gradients, so we need a color ramp here. So one side, this side should be the same pink. Here you can use the eyedropper. Let's try it. So then the second color, I'm going to put a very exaggerated, but this is almost correct for what I want. I might do it smaller than. Let's keep it outside the camera. Okay, we have this. Okay, but let's plug in the, okay, but I don't want it from left to right. So I need to plug in the texture coordinates and some mapping. Vector mapping right here. All right, so let's try a rotation here, 45, something like that. No, doesn't like it. Okay, this is what I want. Okay, something like this, and bring, because below. Okay, this is, so this is just to give some gradient to the background, right? Because we're gonna have some clouds and some other spheres and etc, etc. So all right, this is pretty good. Now the base here, I don't want that much. Okay, the size of this, I want this way smaller, because my base, this is for this base sphere has a very slight bump. Okay, this is pretty, okay, this is really nice. I just want to change the color, in fact. Let's go to yellower. Okay, something like that, maybe 55. Okay, a bit like a gold color, maybe. We'll have a look at that. Let's go back to 6 maybe, because some greenish wasn't a bad idea. It's very rich. I want some rich palette around here. Okay. Now we need clouds. So time ago I developed an asset which is the Japanese scene. So I'm going to append. Let's go find that asset, because that asset has clouds. Okay, you can see the clouds there with the small spheres. So it's a huge scene that was featured, luckily, because I really worked on it a lot. Now I sell it as an asset. It sells not that much, but sells pretty well, because you have, in this asset you get a lot of things, object, clouds, lamps, material, texture. You get a lot of things. So I guess it's the sphere. So let's append the sphere and let's have a look at did you get appended? Yeah, I think yes. Cloud. Okay, perfect. This is a cloud. So I don't remember my setup at all for the clouds, and that's okay. So we're just going to bring one cloud. The other one had 3 different, or 4, and let me see, because too bad. Okay, let's make it a lot bigger. And we're going to work on the material, obviously, and it's too. Okay, so this we can put it, let's hide it for a second. Let's do this, and now we're gonna go to shading. So for the cloud, there's no problem. I can show you all the nodes. Many people do better clouds than I do, so. Okay, here, so this is, I want the clouds a bit more realistic, so I very probably will need more scale on this. All right, so now we're getting somewhere. Now and it's too dark. So let's bring back the background sphere for a second. I'm already starting to like the cloud. Even maybe scale at, I don't know, 14. I don't know, now it's not so cool. Okay, so I probably need to tweak something else. It's the density. No, it's not too bad. All right, let's try some brightness here. Nope. Emission, maybe. And the scale may be at 2. I don't know, maybe at 1 then. At 1. I don't know, 1.5 was perfect, so I guess that's why it wasn't. Okay, this is pretty good. I just, well, okay, wait, maybe more contrast to, yeah, maybe just right there. Okay, this is just a shape. Okay, brightness, so -1. And obviously we're going to bring so then we'll see the light for the clouds. Now let's go at, okay, obviously for the, I'm going to try to bring some other sphere because I had, okay, wait a second. We're going to make variants of the clouds, so I'm going to append the materials, material clouds, cloud 1, 2, and 3, and this is cloud 2. Perfect, and let's append also cloud 3. I could have done that at once, but that's okay, right? All right, we have this. So I want to see each cloud right there, and we'll have another look also at tweaking the materials and the lights for the clouds. Okay, I need some background here. So I want white clouds, which might be a problem. But we'll find a way to, we can maybe render the clouds separately, etc, etc. All right, so we need scale at 8 from what I remember. Okay, scale at 6 should be good for this one. Okay, and these are the, okay, so let's start closest. Cloud 2. Cloud 3, the scale maybe also at 5, something like that. No, maybe 8 then. Okay, it's not too bad. I don't like this one yet, but whatever. Cloud, and where's cloud 1? This is cloud 1. Cloud number 1. Okay, cloud number 1 is pretty nice. This cloud there is not so nice. Let's go at this scale, maybe 1. But the position, okay, the position. I don't know, let's try cloud number 1. Or scale at 0.5. Brightness there, so 1, 0. Okay, it's not too bad, but let's try to, okay, the position, I'm not liking, yeah, but I know what I'm not liking. I'm not liking this. Okay, it's not very good yet. It's a bit more cartoonish cloud. Position, do I need to rotate? But they're colored clouds, so okay, it's starting to be a bit better. The thing is, what type? But it's because of the Voronoi. Okay, so I want to see with cloud number 1. Okay, so it's a bit better. So I'm going to copy the Musgrave texture to cloud number 2. Let's remove this and let's bring this. Question is, where was it plugged in? Let's undo that for a second. In location, all right. So location you get this. Okay, we need less density, so let's bring this down a bit, and let's make this flatter. Okay, it's starting to be interesting for like a huge base cloud. Okay, let's go back here. So this might be a huge base cloud. Okay, let's go here for a second. All right, layout. Whoop. Whoop. Where are you? Okay. Now this should be like 20. Let's put the rotation to 0. Okay, so this is the base cloud right there. And let's see how it works for now. Camera. So tweaking clouds like this is always a bit time consuming. All right, so now the scale is obviously changing a lot of the material. I mean, quite a lot. And question is also, does it end? It clearly ends when touching the background sphere. So maybe now this cloud, let's make it also bigger. Oh, yeah, but this one not that big. It's not so fast. Rotation, absolutely no rotation. Okay, now we're going somewhere. All right, clouds are starting to become interesting here. So same here, let's remove the rotation. Let's make it bigger. That's too big. That's too small. It's pretty good. But what we're going to change is that cloud number 2 should be lower. So it's 62 here. Okay. That cloud, which one? This cloud is too far away. Honestly. Yeah. Here we need them closer. So 0 on Y, but further on. Okay, now you're talking clouds. I'm starting to like this. Okay, I'm starting to like that. It's not the colors I want, they're too dark. Let's see if the darkness of these clouds come from, well, also the density. Okay, I'm going to lower it a lot, I think, because I want to see some of the sphere. 7 and 3. Also, we'll have to tweak the volumetric settings. Or let's go way low. Okay, this all right. Okay. It's starting to become really interesting now. Let's go at 0.8 maybe. And there's just this cloud also. No, this one is already tweaked, and this guy 0.6. And it's pretty nice. Who is that? That's cloud number 1. Let's flip it. Okay. All right. Well, from the main concept, so what I want some spheres, like abstract spheres of slightly different colors. I don't want them to be that reflective, honestly. So this is going to be a sphere. It's not a pearl anymore. Sphere 1. Okay, A, where are the nodes? All right, these are the nodes. I don't want it to be that much reflective, so I want it to be a little more. Well, and you know what? I don't really want that material to be like that at all. I want something very simple on the floor, a bit golden like this. I want it full like that. Okay, this is pretty nice. Metallic, yes, but like I said, not that reflective. I want it a bit reflective, but not that much. Okay, something like that. Just a smooth. Well, we'll keep working. So I want some abstract spheres. I want some white clouds. We're pretty far from that. I want the ring in the middle, and I want some sparks coming from the top. So I love the clouds. The only thing I don't like about the clouds is they're too dark. So let's have a look at this. Can I just bring... Okay, the brightness desaturates the cloud, removes the color, which is a bit too bad. Generally, it's linked to the power of the environment, honestly. Let's have a look at that theory. Yeah, my theory is very correct. So now the clouds are pretty much what I want. What I don't want on the background is that much blue. So I'm going to bring... this should be white. Let's try some white. You're gonna go with white right here. Now the sphere, obviously what I'm going to do is overshoot everything. So it's easier to darken the rest, like the metal. It's just the metal basically here. Something like that. We'll tweak that later. This is just what we're going to do later. Okay, something like that. Starting to be pretty interesting. This sphere needs a lot more color, but I mean like a lot more. And it's getting, okay, that's because of that, but that's not too bad. Some sub, yeah, it's making the sphere richer. But that's going to be a bit too slow, so let's remove it. Yeah, but it makes it richer. So let's make specular at 75, but let's make roughness at 0.15, let's make metallic at 0.5. That's generally pretty nice. At 75 we're pretty good. Yeah, I guess. Now it's too saturated. Let's bring that up. Okay, for now. Okay, so I already have a couple of elements working. I'm not sure if I'm going to bring more spheres because we already have all the pearls. Honestly. Now let's have a look at the background. Is the background fully... that's what I thought. I want full pink. Come on, move it. What's wrong with you? RGB at... What's up with you? RGB totally went through the roof there. Okay, but maybe a bit... just like that. So I don't know if, okay, we're going to ease this or even B-spline this. Okay, it's a bit better. Now the colors of the clouds. A points. Okay, I'm going to copy this if it doesn't work. Let's change that to maybe purplish. Okay. My preferred blue, honestly. But let's go to brighter blue. Or stronger blue. Or stronger pink. Let's have a look. This is too pinkish. Okay. Okay, that's a test. Okay, I'm going to copy that every time. Here and there. Something like that. And last but not least, this one should be white. And we might swap this. Let's try to swap this right here, and let's change the color to something a bit more like that. I don't know who was better. I think I way preferred the first set, so let's bring it back. Here. Let's bring it back here. I don't want no pink clouds. No. Alright. Oh wait, this was good. Oh, this is very interesting. Okay. Then we need a source light somewhere. We need an area light. At least one, maybe 2, 3, whatever. Okay, this object, which is the background sphere, I'm going to ask it to be displayed as a bounding box. Thank you. Now we can breathe. Okay, add some light area. Light. Might come, wait a second, because it might come from a bit under this. So from the left side, which is going to be this kind of side. Front view, okay, area light. So let's bring it at a huge power, yeah, pretty huge power. And something like this. Because like I said, first we're going to exaggerate a bit. All right, that's interesting. That should not get that shadow. Okay, obviously power 25, please. Okay. So we're going to put it higher. And the angle rather down then. Okay, something like that, but let's make it rectangle and let's make it like 30, 80, and so 60, 80, something like that. Let's have a look. And this is a bit better, but it's too much centered. I needed more. Nice. For the ring, it's really good. For the ring, it's really good. Okay, but make it an ellipse because we can see the shape there, and I don't like. Okay, it's better to have a point of light, but it's too centered there, which means that we need more here. A lot more here. Not that much. Half of this. I want it here on the left somehow. A bit higher. I want it here, which, because that zone is not okay, so maybe here. Okay, that's too much. I know, that's pretty good, but let's make it bigger. Well, let's try it bigger. All right, so I'm starting to like it. Yeah, I'm starting to like it pretty much. So let's just add some sparks. I don't know yet, maybe we are going to have a closer look. Let's put the camera maybe at, I don't know, 62. No, that's definitely too close. Let's go 45. And let's put the camera higher than 25. No, 20 was better. All right. Okay, so now I'm just going to work on some particles. Here I'm going to add a sphere or a circle. Let's add a circle, honestly. Like with 80 or 90, whatever. And we're going to make a small simulation. The sphere, I think, is going to be collider. So let's just turn on collision. And we'll see what happens with the standard settings. AF. Let's have a look at face orientation for a moment. Yeah, we're all good here. Okay, I need to flip this one, normal flip, because it needs to go down. Let's go out of face orientation for a second. Now this is going to create some particles like sparks or whatever. Okay, let's run that for a second. Okay, there are way too many and it's way too big. I just want this. We want a couple. Let's make 200. Yeah, let's. And also, it's way too high. Let's go here. Let's go back to 1. Let's check what happens when it hits the. Okay, they shouldn't die. So lifetime 1,000. Let's go back here. My particles will never die. Okay, it's hitting the sphere, but okay, what I need then is that I need this placed like that, because I want them, okay, perfect, to bounce like this. Now the only problem, you can see that we want a random distribution, because you can see that the path is always the same. So all right, this is great. Okay, so now to make something interesting with that, we need to render that. So we need to create in a galaxy far, far away, just add a small sphere. Let's put it in material, which is going to be spark. Let's bring it a bit closer. Okay. Scale. Let's make it smooth. Let's make it yellow, just to. I don't want it to be exactly yellow, but let's make it yellow so we'll see something at first. This is pretty good, so I'm going to. Am I going to bake? Yeah, I'm going to, but wait a second. Yeah, sizes you can tweak later and all that, but I'm going to, okay, render is going to render as an object. Where is this? Is this the spark? Yes, that's the spark. Okay, circle is going to render the spark as a particle right there. Now the scale, let's put it at 1. This is not very correct. Okay, and then scale randomness at 1. Obviously the sparks should be too big, not too small, something like that. So now we're going to bake cache to disk, and let's bake. All right, so we're frame 165. Let's go to shading because we want to see what the sparks look like. And there's one spark here, one spark there. All right, so we need to have a closer look. Okay, we can see the sparks. All right, so now the spark material needs to emit lights. Emission is going to be white, and the emission strength is going to be like 250. Okay, something like that. But I want to change the strength depending on the position, I guess. So geometry position is going to come here, and we're going to multiply that. Let's put a converter math, and we might use multiply add because we're going to add at least 10, and let's multiply it by 50, maybe see what happens. Okay, too bad that. Okay, so let's try just whatever incoming, just or random value maybe here. No, too bad. This is okay, so random per island. So nope. And let's add, okay, or let's multiply by 5. And also the emission color, we're going to bring a color ramp. I want them a bit yellowish sometimes, and we'll see about that depending on. Okay, then we might set this to the volume. Okay, it's a bit better, but we're going to turn on the strength of this a lot. Okay, so if the light is too strong, it's useless to put it on the volume. Let's put the render size, render at scale 0.2. I want them a bit bigger. All right, now I'm going to make them glow somehow, and also we're going to need that cloud number 2 to be thicker, something like this, not too much, something between the two. It should be 30 then. Okay. Okay, I just want the sparks to change color a bit more, so we're going to put some geometry position in here. This generally helps. Okay, we can see the difference. Now we're going to bring some variations more here and there. Okay, this is what I wanted. More variations on the sparks, and this is quite lovely. On the sphere here, I would like also some color ramp. It's too dull. I want some purple somewhere here. Okay, it's way too there. Are we getting that purple? Yes, I guess. Question is where? Okay, we're going to bring that. No, sorry. Suddenly the sliders they move like in, well, however they want. We're not there yet. It's still too. Okay, so we have this problem. Okay, we need to bring the texture coordinates here, and we need to, okay, let's bring some mapping here. I'd not necessarily bring in the gradient node. Okay, let's go at 120. I want the yellow there and the purple a bit on the right side. Okay, this is starting. Okay, now let's go at ease here and a bit further here. Now obviously the, okay, we might turn on the roughness a bit higher, and I might bring some musgrave bump texture. Musgrave, let's go to normal. Okay, this is great to see the scales and all of that. Let's go to 120. Okay, something like this. Now let's bring in the vector bump to the height. Okay, it's obviously way too strong, and it's a bit too small. Too big, sorry. I want a very slight slider, and let's make it at 0.2, something like that. Just a very small. Or you know what? Let's do that, but let's combine this. Let's bring in image texture. We might use the same that I used for the scratches right there. So now let's okay, sometimes just bring a bump and then another bump in. This one goes in normal, this one comes here, height, and let's watch the sphere on its own. Okay, so this is way too strong, and okay, the image is making something like what I want, but I might rotate that image, so we need to bring in the texture coordinates generated, and maybe go at box and blend one. Okay, I'm kind of liking this pretty much. Am I liking this? Yeah, but put some mapping here, and I want to rotate maybe like that a bit, and like this, because I don't want the lines to be horizontal there. Something there. Okay, this is great. Now let's have a look at everybody together. Okay, I'm not sure that I won't add anything else. I might add, but maybe vignettes. We could do a white vignette effect. Anyway, we need some depth of field. Well, let's give it a try to, okay, let's add empty. Let's go, where's my, where are we? Okay, okay. It's because of the circle. I need to be right there. And right here somewhere. Okay, and here. That should be pretty good. So this is going to be called Dove. Here we are. Let's place it a bit better. Maybe here. Okay, that's great. Camera. Let's make it depth of field. Turn on. We go to the DOF, DOF, focal at like 0.03, something like that. Because we need some depth of field, like the particles in the front. I want them, yeah, to be a bit blurry. Ooh, this is starting to be very interesting. The only thing I would like to have is that I would love some particles from under. To eliminate the clouds, because that would make the what I intended to do with other spheres might be replaced with some sparks in the clouds. What I could do is that I can manually place some sparks. Okay, we're going to go at f-stop at 0.2, I guess, because I need more depth of field. And with the clouds, going to be amazing. Let's have a look at the render settings volumes. Yeah, this is pretty good. It's pretty good. So question is. Okay, let's have a look at a wider background sphere. Like 450. Might be a bit better for the clouds. Yeah, I think it's a bit better. Also, but that's white. That's already white. Okay, there's a cloud there. I need to rotate a bit on X. Let's go 20. No, minus 20, minus 10, something like that, because we see the ending there. And let's make it higher then. Oh, this is a mistake, but let's have a look at this mistake. I don't like it. Okay, that's a bit better. Let's wait just a second to see if I need to rotate it more. Maybe on Z. Yeah, okay, let's go at, because I'm using Musgrave on the clouds. Sometimes you can see where the cloud ends, that's why it's not the best way to do clouds generally, but specifically like in this scene, it's one of the best ways. Okay, all right. Okay, but let's maybe remove the rotation so it lowers a bit. Okay, we have some clouds on the left, but now we miss some clouds on the right side. I think this is working pretty well, but let's have a look at the other cloud. This cloud, so is that cloud, yeah, that cloud is that cloud, -50, maybe not, maybe 30 here, and -25. I need more clouds there. And we might rotate this. It's getting interesting. Again. Okay. Obviously, instead of the particle simulation, which is nice, but it's not, maybe not even necessary, I'm going to finish tweaking the entire scene by placing particles one by one, because they're not millions. I just want to use the sparks like spheres. So let's have a look at how the material works here and there. Okay, yeah, exactly, and making some lights in the clouds. So this is going to, I need some, I don't know, 20-30 particles maybe. And the cloud placement, this friend here should, no, this one is good, that one should go a bit more to the right side. I need you on the right side. Maybe a lot more, because I need clouds there. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. So not that far, but because I don't want that many clouds in the middle to avoid affecting. Okay, so we want you to be thicker like this. In fact, that's pretty nice to have an opening right there. Okay, so this cloud also should be maybe still a bit higher like that. Okay, let's lower it again. Okay, and now I need to finish tweaking the particles. So with this is going to be the end of this video tutorial. I hope you loved this video. I really enjoy making and creating new things on the channel, thanks to my members, thanks to people who buy my assets. Don't forget to write comments, and if you want anything like a type of challenge, something that you like to see in the videos, let me know. And well, keep taking care, be happy, be nice to people, be nice to the planet, be nice to animals, and see you soon.